Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to school. As promised last week, I'm going to be making a series of videos that are some of my best tips and tricks that I've learned over the last 8 years, and just some really basic ideas that you can implement into your business that will really help with your personal volume, your recruiting, and your overall paycheck. So, again, welcome back to school. I have my teacher bag here, and off topic, I did want to point out our new iconic, how it's all filled in for the first time this spring. In the past, we've only had the outline, so you can just see how it really pops when you have the thread color all the way throughout. So inside my teacher bag, I have our first topic, which is Hostess packets. What I love about this topic is that it works for both home parties and online and Facebook parties. So if you are primarily a Facebook partier, please know that it is super important that your hostesses are also getting a physical hostess packet in the mail. Inside, I have all the contents that I use, and hopefully this will be of some help to you. As you can see from the front though, I try to make it kind of pretty. Right now we have Valentine's Day coming up, so I would normally wrap this in a pink ribbon or add a Valentine or something fun to it, maybe a fake flower that I got on clearance at Hobby Lobby, something like that, which is going to make it attractive enough that she'll actually open it. If you're mailing this to her, it's super important that she finds it interesting enough to open it and actually go through the contents. Even better though is, of course, if you can get together with her in person. I find that the hostesses that take 15 minutes to sit with me over a cup of coffee or a glass of wine and go through this have much more successful parties. So obviously they're going to already be more engaged right from the beginning by agreeing to meet with you, but then being able to give them that specific information just helps propel it into a really, really successful party for you. So inside I have, starting with a cover letter. Really basic, but you want to make sure that she has all the different ways to contact you. You don't want to make it hard for her to ask some simple questions. So I do have my cell phone, my email, and my website, as well as just 4 really basic bullet points for her to help the party be successful, and then how to calculate the tax and shipping. So I start with that for her. And my favorite sheet to go over with her, especially in person, is this one, that it's your turn to party page. This is where she's going to see what she can earn. And I always start talking to her right at that $1,200 level. We have hostesses that when you give them a bar, they will meet it or exceed it. So we don't want to talk to her about minimums. We don't want to talk to her about a $200 party that's going to get her 1 exclusive at a discounted amount. You want to talk to her about the $1,200 party and her 3 free exclusives, and then show her how she can mathematically get there. The average guest spend is somewhere about $60. So if she has 10 guests at the party, that's a $600 party. If she gets some outside orders on top of that, it goes up even higher. And it's really important to kind of show her how that works out so she knows what to expect. One of the great things about 31 is I hear all the time from hostesses that they've never hosted for a direct sales company before, but something about 31 has drawn them in. So we can't assume that she knows how much people spend or how many people to have to make a good party. On the right side is her wish list. This is probably the most fun part of the entire packet. This is her shopping spree. So she gets to flip through the catalog and say, I want one of these, I want 2 of those. And then you can show her how to work out that math with her free credit to get what she's looking for. It's also a perfect way for you to know which products to bring to the party, or if you're doing an online party, which ones to highlight in your videos. Of course, can't live without the catalogs. I usually send about 3 catalogs and about 5 order forms. That would be for a home party. For an online or catalog, you want to send at least 10, since you're not going to be physically there to meet guests in person. I only highlight the most important information. I don't want her to get bogged down in writing her long street address. I want her to save her pen and her wrist for filling out products. I want her to shop more. So very briefly, I highlight her name, email, because we want her to get on our listserv, the email blasts that go out from home office, her cell phone number so I can do some awesome pink glove service for her, and if she personalizes anything, I can send her that product preview. It's a really great way to build relationships with the customer, especially if it's online or Facebook and you're not going to see her, and also to safeguard yourself that the personalization is correct. And then lastly, obviously the most important part is, are you going to see her again? Is she interested in hosting a party, joining your team, or maybe sharing a referral name with you? So all of those are in there. Sorry, I have to go back. One thing I forgot on the back side of the It's Your Turn to Party is the invite list. On the invite list, this helps her think outside the box. Not just inviting her mom, best friend, and sister and calling it a day, but really looking at different categories of people. Spouses, coworkers, contacts from kids' school, contacts from church or other social group activities. That helps her to find a way to connect with people that maybe don't come right to the top of her mind right away, but would love 31. And we know that people are so busy, so she can get them all together and have a glass of wine on the same night. That's great. I also want to point out that I've never had anybody feel offended by being invited to a direct sales company as long as they are genuinely invited. And by that I mean their name is written there in pen. They are called, they are reminded, they are sent a little red stamp in the mail. We'll talk about red stamp tomorrow. And instead, they know that they are wanted there and not just their checkbook. So it's really important that people are not just blasted on Facebook or blasted through an email, but that they are personally invited, and they will come. On that note, if we want to make it even more special for them, these are mini catalogs. These actually come right in the enrollment kit if you're a new consultant. You can also purchase them. I think they're maybe $3.50 for $40 or for 40 of them. They're very inexpensive. And this is what I use for my invites. I recommend to my hostess that she sends 10 to 15 of these to her VIPs. So when we talked about her thinking outside the box, who are those 10 people or so that just, it wouldn't be the party if they weren't there? So that's where her mom, sister, best friend, neighbor come into play. You want to make sure that at least those VIPs are getting this. I tend to put a little return address label or shipping label right here with the party information on it. On the back is my information. These can go right inside a regular envelope and be mailed. And look how cute these are. If you haven't taken any time to order these off of Business Supply, they're such great teasers with our products. This is also not going to get thrown away. If she puts it in a pretty pink envelope, it's going to show up in the mail and be the highlight in between all of those bills. So it's not just going to be a postcard that gets buried. It's going to be something she holds on to. And again, that she knows that she was genuinely invited. The last piece of the Hostess packet is a little bit about yourself. This was a publication that I was in a few years ago, but you could certainly make a one-sheet document that talks about your why. Why are you doing 31? Put a picture of yourself, a picture of your kids, maybe a goal that you have or something that you've already achieved through 31. This is a great recruiting tool because people can see what you're doing and why it's important to you, but it's also just a great booking tool as well. People will want to help you meet those goals. And the great thing about 31 is that we're a relationship-based business. We are not a transactional business. So the more people know about you, the more they're invested in you as their consultant and ultimately, eventually, their friend. And so having that personal piece is really important. Let's say she loves everything in there about you and she's interested in joining your team. I always make sure I also have a little recruiting flyer. This has some information about the company itself, as well as some income goals, how much she can earn by doing a couple parties a month, and how much she could earn if she actually moves up the career path as well. So I always put this in here, and I end with this. After she's so excited about who she's going to invite, I didn't mention the monthly special flyers in there. So she's excited about what her customers are going to get on discount this month. She's excited about her wish list. Now you have some momentum built. And I tell her that if you are ever interested in doing what I'm doing, take a look at this. And I'm going to ask you again before your party. If you've had some time to think about it and you want to actually turn your party into a kickoff party for yourself, we'll go ahead and get you signed up. Point out the enrollment kits on the back of the catalog and tell her that we want to make sure that she has an active website and that all outside orders are going to her instead of to me or to you. And point out what the website would look like and tell her that she would have that automatically and right away. So I do bring it up with her again just a couple days before the party. Hey, have you thought about it? Did you want to get an active website going? Or are you more comfortable in the hostess capacity this time? So there you go. I showed you everything that was in there in about 5 or 6 minutes. This doesn't take long. So it's certainly something that you can sit down with your hostess and do or do over FaceTime. And you'll definitely see the reward of that.